Hey guys, in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan travels to Utapau to engage General Grievous in combat. We saw these two duel a lot throughout the Clone Wars, with neither being able to finish the other, until Obi-Wan blasts Grievous and kills him. This obviously sets the subsequent events in action, with Obi-Wan going to Mustafar and defeating Anakin and so on. But what if things went the other way? What if General Grievous killed Obi-Wan during their duel on Utapau?
The story of Obi-Wan Kenobi ends here.
Obi-Wan is confident in his abilities when dueling General Grievous. Grievous isn't a Force user, but he has been trained to use a lightsaber by Count Dooku. This, coupled with his large frame, makes him a feared opponent.
Come on, General. I know you're better than this.
Obi-Wan tries to taunt Grievous, but only makes him more enraged in the process. As their fighting reaches its peak, Obi-Wan realizes his mistakes in aggravating the droid and gets sliced in the leg by Grievous' lightsaber.
Please, try to run. You only prolong your agony.
Grievous looks down at Kenobi, who is on the floor groaning in agony. Raising his sabers, he kills Obi-Wan Kenobi. Grievous bends down, taking Obi-Wan's lightsaber with him as he leaves.
So many lightsabers to add to my collection.
Killing Obi-Wan was a big win for the Separatists, and would set them on a great path for victory in the war. Grievous would waste no time before contacting his master to tell him the news, something he would hope to expect a lot of praise for. Grievous pulls out his comlink and calls Palpatine, who is sitting in his office. Grievous begins to boast about his victory against Kenobi. Palpatine tells him to calm himself. So at this moment, Palpatine didn't really know what to think. He was half hoping that Grievous would be killed by Kenobi. This is because he was about to reveal himself as the Sith Lord to Anakin, and Grievous was only going to become a liability. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized he could use this to his advantage. He congratulated Grievous and instructed him to remain on Utapau and destroy the remaining clone forces. As Palpatine closes the call, he can sense someone coming through the door. Looking up, his protege Anakin Skywalker marches towards him.
What is it, Chancellor? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
Palpatine tells him of the news he has just learned. His best friend and master is dead. Anakin drops to his knees as tears flood his face. His mind travels from one thought to another as rage consumes him.
This all could have been avoided if the Council sent me there first. It's all their fault.
Palpatine smirked under his breath as he attempted to comfort the boy. Anakin was lashing out and demonstrating his potential power to Palpatine. Palpatine calculated his options. He explained to Anakin that he should go to Utapau and destroy Grievous. It's what Obi-Wan would have wanted. At this time, Anakin still doesn't know that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, which means the only thing he can do is go and speak to the Jedi Council. He has never considered the dark side as a possibility, which means right now he is just extremely provoked and upset. Before Anakin leaves, Palpatine is sure to inform him to show no restraint, use his anger to his leverage, and kill General Grievous. Leaving Palpatine's office, he goes straight back to the Jedi Temple. Storming the council chambers, he demands that he be sent to Utapau immediately.
I warned you that I should have been the one sent there in the first place, and you didn't listen. You won't stop me this time. Grievous is mine.
Yoda frowned as he thought. Skywalker, allow you to go. We will. At this moment, the Jedi couldn't do anything to stop Anakin. When Anakin was dismissed from the meeting, he ran to his ship before departing for Grievous. This was all working in Palpatine's favor. With Kenobi dead, Anakin's emotions were heightened and all over the place. If he could tug at Anakin's strings just a little bit more, surely he would be his forever. As Anakin landed on Utapau, he stormed the battlefield. Slicing down droids left, right, and center, he searched for General Grievous. But it was Grievous who found him first.
Skywalker, Jedi scum.
Grievous could tell that Anakin was in no mood to speak. Anger radiated off him as he turned to meet his eyes.
Your master is not here to save you now.
Anakin ignites his lightsaber.
You will not escape me, Grievous. I will kill you for what you did to Obi-Wan.
Leaping into combat with Grievous, their blades locked. Grievous was a strong duelist. He used his inhumane strength to gain an advantage, along with his 4 lightsabers that he was able to wield at once. But it was Anakin who was the more powerful fighter. Anakin's flourishes were smooth and accurate. His moves increased in strength the more angry he became. Anakin's impulse led him craving revenge on Grievous. He exploited his one weakness, that he didn't possess the Force. Raising Grievous into the air, Anakin used the Force to make him defenseless. Never before had Anakin ever experienced power on a level such as this. It was addicting, but dangerous. It was clear that Anakin was crossing over into his dark side abilities to kill Grievous. He acted on impulse, anger, and revenge, all necessary traits of the Sith. Anakin continued by tearing the insides of the droid apart. There was nothing that Grievous could do. His fate had been sealed. Anakin propelled the lightsaber into Grievous's heart, killing him. Anakin had received the revenge he came here to collect. Anakin calls Palpatine to inform him that he has defeated General Grievous. He did this even before the Jedi Council knew. Without Anakin realizing it, he had fallen into Palpatine's trap, becoming his play toy to do his bidding no matter the action. Palpatine simply congratulated him on avenging Obi-Wan. He tells Anakin to return to Coruscant at once and come and see him. Anakin obeys his request and heads back to Coruscant, the Battle of Utapau between the clones and droids still raging on. Arriving, he goes straight to Palpatine's office. As he enters, he finds him not alone. From a distance, he can hear someone speaking, and in desperation. Anakin was shocked to find Windu, Fisto, Tin, and Kolar.
Master, what are you doing here?
Anakin hadn't even realized that the 4 Jedi had their lightsabers ignited. They were threatening the Chancellor. What Anakin didn't realize at this moment was that with Grievous destroyed, the Chancellor was obligated to give up his emergency powers. But Palpatine would never even consider that. He was the most powerful man in the Republic, and was so close to total domination over the entire galaxy. Windu, practically shouting at this point, informs Palpatine that if he doesn't come with them right now, he would be arrested. In Palpatine's mind, this was the moment that would change everything. He calls on the Force to bring his lightsaber hilt to his hand and ignites it, confirming the Jedi's suspicions right in front of Anakin. Anakin was perplexed and had no idea what to do. His blood was boiling, pulsating with rage and anger. All he could think about was Obi-Wan and Padme. If Palpatine died in this duel, Padme would die in childbirth. He stood there paralyzed as he tossed and turned, not knowing what to do. In the meantime, Palpatine had leaped for the Jedi and already killed 3 of them, leaving Windu all alone. But it was Windu who could utilize his extremely powerful Form 7 variant of a pod to force Palpatine to the floor and attempt to kill him. Raising his purple blade above his head, he prepared to save the Republic. Palpatine cackled in anticipation, but before Mace could complete what he was going to do, Anakin had thrusted his lightsaber through Mace's heart, killing Windu in cold blood. Through this act, Anakin had pledged himself to the dark side of the Force. The rest, as we know, is history. Anakin would go to the Jedi Temple along with the clones and slaughter every single Jedi in sight. With the execution of Order 66, the Jedi would fall. The younglings, knights, and masters stood no chance against a ravaging Anakin. He was not only fueled by the thought of losing Padme in childbirth, but also the loss of Obi-Wan. No one would ever stand a chance against him again. He was far too powerful. When Yoda returned and discovered the truth, he did what he thought he was meant to do: confront the Emperor and kill him on the spot, just like he attempted in Revenge of the Sith. But as he entered Palpatine's office, he was surprised to find him there with Anakin. Not losing his morals, Yoda attempted to gain victory for the Republic, but he was no match for Sidious and Vader at full power. Yoda would join a long list of Jedi names that were killed during Order 66. Anakin and Palpatine would create the Empire and generate order in the galaxy, eventually building the Death Star, causing every planet to comply with them. Padme would successfully give birth to Luke and Leia, just like Palpatine had promised. She hated what he had become, but she couldn't do anything about it. He would never let her flee. Instead, she focused on raising the twins to be just like her, instead of Anakin's corrupted dark side views. In time, Padme grew to despise Anakin for everything. She understood the evil and violent man he had become. He was only a mere shell of the Anakin she used to know. Eventually, Anakin would place his grip over his children and corrupt them to the dark side of the Force. Padme surrendered herself to the fact that her life was meaningless. In Anakin's daring pursuit to save Padme, he actually lost her. In the end, Palpatine and the Sith would win. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I thought long and hard about this story and how it would go, because there are so many possibilities. I really wanted to give Anakin a happy ending, but it just wasn't realistic. Obi-Wan dying, especially at this time right before Order 66, would only be another catalyst and reason for Anakin to fall to the dark side. He would also blame his death on the Jedi, due to them not letting him go to Utapau in the first place. Once again, another reason why he would turn to the dark side. Yoda would die as well, because he would have to face both Anakin and Palpatine, something he would not survive. So unfortunately, I know you all wanted Anakin to have a happy ending, but this time it just wasn't realistic. Please comment your thoughts below and any other what if ideas you would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.